maybe come in through the garage, right? That's how everyone comes into their house. They park their car, they come in through their garage. What's it like? Where do you drop your stuff off? Is there a drop-off spot?
Thank you for joining us for this week's Coach on the Clock. I am joined this week by Addi with New Hue Visual Pros. I am so excited to have you. I really am. But before we begin, just for anyone who has not joined us in the past or anyone who's just needs a quick refresher, how this works is we do it just similar to like the fourth quarter of a Denver Broncos football game. So no timeouts because we've already used them, just like a Denver Broncos. 2 minutes towards the end, we get a 2-minute warning, and then that's it. Just quick 15 minutes. So I've asked Addi to join us today because Addi is an expert on the visual media, really kind of how to help us with our clients. And how this kind of came about is I had talked to several realtors and said, hey, how are you doing your video showings? How are you doing if you have to FaceTime with a showing with a client? How are you doing everything? And everyone that I asked to be the expert said, oh no, I am just awful at it.
Yeah.
And not a single person said that they were good. But your name came up as you're a videographer.
Mm-hmm.
You do a lot of the wonderful videos that we see of listings, or even today we are at the Canyons. We're at a Berkeley beautiful model home, and they ask you to come and do theirs for them, for their websites.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So obviously you know what you're doing. We got that.
I think so.
And then you also coach realtors.
I do. I also do video marketing and customized assistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we know you know what you're doing. But today we're going to just talk really quickly, I think, about, let's say I have a client. I know that I want to FaceTime with them because I think I found the perfect home for them.
Okay.
Okay. So, but unfortunately, the day that this comes up is the day that they're out of town.
That's usually how it goes.
It is, right? Like if you want to find your perfect home, you're in
Yep.
town. But nobody is going to buy a home just off of the beautiful video that you've produced.
Right.
Because we all know there's more to the story.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've talked to the listing agent. I've gotten permission to go ahead and shoot some video in there. We all know that that's extremely important. You have to get permission of that listing agent to shoot any pictures or anything else.
Right.
But I've called and I've gotten it. I booked my showing, and now I'm going to go in there.
Okay.
So what are some of the first steps that I should take if I'm the realtor?
Okay. Well, first thing, I would make sure that everyone has a phone, right? Especially if you're a realtor, you have a phone.
Mm-hmm.
And most everyone has a newer phone with most of them have high quality cameras. So everything you have is in your pocket, whether it's an iPhone, an Android, whatever, you've got it in your hands. Mm-hmm. So what I would recommend for a video call, let's say you're taking your clients through the house. First thing I would do before you go to the house, know what your clients are looking for. What do they want? What do they not want? Make a list, have it written down, what you need to show and what you need to address, right? Mm-hmm. There's never 100% a perfect house in any situation. So I would make sure to have a list ahead of time. And then what I would do is before you call your clients, walk through the house, see what, kind of get a feel for the space. And that way you don't have to, I'm the type of mindset where you don't want to waste anyone's time, right? You've got to put your best foot forward anytime you're on the clock. So when you do that, I think we were talking about how, you don't have to always start with the front door. You can start with the front door, but I would envision how I would want to show my clients if I was selling a house, maybe come in through the garage, right? That's how everyone comes into their house. They park their car, they come in through their garage. What's it like? Where do you drop your stuff off? Is there a drop-off spot? If your clients work from home, where is their work proximity? Where are they walking around in their space from their bedroom to their kitchen? So that's what I would do is I would walk around and visualize that and share that with your client. Because if you really believe this is the house for them, mm-hmm. you need to show that to them. And video is how you're going to do that. And it's just a video call, right? Like no pressure. Right. You're not on a Facebook Live or anything. Just talking to your client. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. I know we had chatted, and you were really big into pre-planning.
Yeah.
Right. So one was to have that list. And then I think you mentioned also making certain that you were very familiar with the house.
Yeah, aside from a video call, if you're trying to show, let's say you're on the other side of the coin, right? You're the listing agent. And maybe you've had a property that's been sitting for a little bit, which is so weird to have that happen, but maybe it happens, right? It happens in this market.
It does.
And that's another thing you can do is take that video into your own hands and show why your property is great. Every property has something that is a leg up from something else.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would recommend is taking that phone, like I said, planning it out. But when you're doing a video and you're sharing it on social media or sharing it with potential clients, don't just walk through the house and say I know maybe people think it's fun. I'm in the mindset where you have a very small amount of time to capture people's attention. Actually, the true stat is you have 8 seconds to keep someone's attention on a social media post. So I don't want to take that 8 seconds and waste it by opening a closet that may have a bunch of junk in it, right?
Right.
I'm going to walk around. I'm going to film the best parts of a property. I'm going to cut. I'm going to start again. And then there's so many video editing apps on your phone, on your computer, that you can just put it all together. And in fact, it does it automatically. You can do it on all kinds of social media apps too. So
that's true. That's very true. Yes, 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
That is really good to know.
Yeah,
right?
You've got a short amount of time.
You really do. Yes, we've talked about that on some other segments, but yeah, it is very, very short. I think it's getting shorter every day.
Yeah, our attention span is going downhill.
That's why we do these in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
because 15 minutes we're done. I can't possibly focus for more than
That's
that. Right. So I know you talked about the sequence, like maybe not starting at the front door.
Right.
Because most of the videos that I see seem to start at that front door.
Yeah, that's kind of like a standard default, right? How you welcome your guests into your home. Right. But you can start anywhere in the house. Where is the most important space to your clients, right? Like some people, their emphasis is kitchen. The rest is kind of a fluff, right? So if your focus is the kitchen, start at the kitchen. If you really believe that this is a space for your client or any potential client, like this house, this kitchen is incredible, why not start at the kitchen? Right? There's no rules. You don't have to follow any certain rules for video. You make your own rules. So
what about scale?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, this room is huge. And I was trying to imagine how tall it is. I don't really know. It's pretty high.
We were talking about that.
But I have my husband. He's the other half of my business. And I usually have him put his arm up to figure out how high it is. He's not here, so I don't know. So that's the thing, is it's hard to portray that to your clients, especially through pictures, right? Mm-hmm. And unless you're there in person, it's really, really hard to capture that. So the best thing I would recommend is putting yourself in front of the camera. Whether you have a stabilizer or a tripod to prop it up. If you don't, you can set your phone up on anything, put a book up or, kind of lean it against something and then set the timer, back up, put your arms out, put your hands up. How are you in doorways, right? Do you have really tall clients? And people know you as an agent. They should know you. They should know your approximate size. And so that would really help, I think, with proportions. I know that Zach has done that before with clients on the real estate side. He's climbed into bathtubs before to show them this can fit me. I'm 6'5". It'll fit anyone. So, just really put yourself in front of the camera, and it shouldn't make you nervous because it's just for your clients. How far will you go to get that property sold?
Okay. I think that's something that some people are a little hesitant on.
Right.
Can you share a little bit more about that? I think really putting yourself out there for those clients.
Yeah.
That if it is their house, bringing that scale up, showing them that sort of thing. So, I love having someone stand in a shower, show me the size.
Yeah.
Taking a picture.
Yeah. I guess the question is, not being afraid. If you're afraid, what can you do to get more comfortable and not be afraid? So that's what I would recommend, is just get comfortable, because the most important part of it is your clients.
So you were sharing with me a little earlier, if someone is uncomfortable, you had some strategies for them to get a little more comfortable.
Right.
Could you share that with us again?
Yeah. I mean, we all have pretty much unlimited storage on our phones. And it's not like once you take a video, you have to use it. I recommend for all my clients, when we start doing video, set your phone up prop it up, be it in your own room, in your office, wherever, and just start recording. Find a subject to talk about, pick a point, something that you're passionate about in your industry, and just talk about it. And no one has to know. No one has to know you recorded it. You don't have to use it, but just get comfortable seeing your face in front of the camera, learning how to speak slower with more emphasis. A lot of people, when they get on camera, the first thing they do is they talk really fast and you can't understand them. So I would recommend slowing down, looking into the camera, really finding a way to connect with your audience through video.
Right. I was reminded early on, because we do this as a podcast, that if they think you're speaking too slow, they can speed it up on the podcast.
100%. Right. Yes. Everyone's so concerned. And realtors, I think that they're just already speaking fast, right? Because they got to get their pitch in.
Right. Well,
so slow it down.
Yes.
Really connect.
Yes. No, I have a good friend of mine who does a lot of podcasting. And she told me, no, it's okay. They can speed it up. It's fine. You don't have to do it for them.
Right.
Yes. So that is a good thing to remember. They can do that for you. Even if it's not a podcast, they can speed it up.
Yeah.
So then you also said that something that if somebody really was going to go and maybe do some video showings, or you were going to have to FaceTime or do some of those, that just an inexpensive stabilizing thing for your iPhone.
Yeah. So there's a thing called stabilizers. They come in all different price points. So, I'm always of the mindset of you don't have to spend anything if you don't want to get started on video, right? We already have our phones, but if you want to try and do a little bit more, stabilizers are great. They're a little handheld. Some of them come with tripods so that, and some of them have functions where they can follow you around in a room. So if you're trying to do a video, you can set it in the app where it follows your face. I mean, there's so much technology that you can use that are affordable, but I would start with stabilizers. But I would do that as a stepping stone after you're comfortable in front of the camera. Because the last thing you want to do is buy something you're not going to use. So, get comfortable in front of your camera and then get your stabilizer. Baby steps.
Fair enough. I actually know of one that I used originally that I could also use this to hold my phone.
Yeah.
So when I made calls, I could use it for that.
Yeah.
And then also put it on a table or something else and use it to hold the phone that way when we needed to do some videos. I know I got it on Amazon for less than $15.
Yeah, you can get many things for cheap.
Yeah, it really was. But it does make it easier because you're not trying to hold the phone and video yourself or use a book where it keeps falling down.
Yep.
If you're like me,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not quite that.
Yeah, that's a good extra step to do.
Yes. Now, you had shared with me a little bit earlier about really if I'm going to try to show that perfect home for that client. Kind of, I can't remember the phrase that you used. It's something about making the home theirs or something.
Right.
Hopefully you can remember that.
Yeah.
Tell me, so you kind of even started out like, show them like getting up in the morning and this is going out to the kitchen to get their coffee or their. Can you describe that a little? I thought that was such a great way to kind of show the client the house.
So I always try to tell a story, whether it's from my point of view as a videographer, or how am I going to tell the story to the client? So whether you're on a video call or you're just sending them videos, how are you going to tell the story? Paint the picture for them. What's it like living in your house? What's it like, hollering down the stairs or up the stairs of your kids? It's time to come down for dinner. Where is the space? How are you going to utilize the space? If the space is used as an office, how are you going to use it as a bedroom? Really, the more you know your clients, the more you can paint that picture for them. But that's what I always like to go into a video with a purpose.
With a story.
With a purpose, just a way to paint that picture.
I love that. Well, that was our 2-minute warning, but I do love that. So the best advice that you can think of, I think maybe come to the videographer. First of all, I think you said was to just do it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And to come with the approach of having a story.
Yeah. First thing I do is just say, get started. And anytime I have clients come to me and we kind of look over their social media, they're always so embarrassed. They're like, I'm sorry, this video is so bad. I'm like, you know what? Props to you for trying. So anyone out there that's doing video, like give yourself a pat on the back because you did it. And there's so many that aren't even doing it. So starting somewhere and then building from there. Maybe you turn and film the camera around on you this time when you talk and not just film the property. But just getting started is so important because then you'll get more comfortable. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Addi, you've been really a treat. I can honestly say that.
Thank you.
So, Addi, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, I know you mentioned that you have clients, so I understand that you do help realtors.
Yes.
That is really your profession. So, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, wanted to chat with you about that, or just really might want to ask a question, what is the best way for them to reach you?
I mean, we're on every social media platform. It's at NewHew, NEWHEW, Visual Pros. Or you can search our hashtag at NewHew Visual Pros. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're pretty much everywhere. You can find us through there, or you can just send me a message, give me a call. My number is 573-239-3317. And I'm here to answer any questions that people have. You know, I really want to empower people to step in front of the camera. That's really what my purpose is with my business.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that ends this week's edition of Coach on the Clock. Hope you can join us next week. Thank you.